Imagine if every time you saw something good or bad in your life, you didn't feel the usual pull to label it that way. Instead, you felt free from the need to judge or cling to any outcome. Think of the possibilities that could open up, how much lighter life might feel. And what if, in this very freedom from judgment, you found that the things you'd long desired began to flow to you effortlessly? Today, we're diving into a concept that can fundamentally shift your experience of reality and of manifestation: non-duality. The art of seeing everything as one, as a part of the source, and how it can free you from judgment, bringing you closer to everything you desire. Most of us live in a world of duality: good versus bad, right versus wrong, success versus failure. It's natural because we're conditioned to view life through these contrasting lenses. But this habit of labeling can also become a trap, especially when it comes to manifesting. The labels we assign aren't just thoughts. They create emotions, attachments, and expectations that can prevent us from experiencing life fully and openly. So, what happens when we stop labeling? Non-duality teaches that everything, every experience, every person, and every outcome is simply a part of the larger whole. Think of it this way: life is like the ocean, and each wave represents an experience. Whether it's a calm wave or a crashing one, each wave is still the ocean. When we practice non-duality, we see beyond individual waves and recognize the ocean itself. In doing so, we stop reacting to the ups and downs with attachment or aversion, freeing ourselves from judgment. Consider a common situation. You apply for a job you feel sure is perfect for you. You're excited, you feel qualified, and you can already picture yourself working there. But then, you don't get the job. Normally, this would feel disappointing, like a bad outcome. You might even start questioning your self-worth or wondering if you made a mistake somewhere. Now, let's look at this scenario through the lens of non-duality. Instead of seeing this as a bad outcome, what if you chose to see it as just an experience without labeling it? Perhaps this is life steering you toward a role that's even more aligned with who you are, or teaching you resilience and patience. By practicing non-duality, you begin to see that every experience, whether labeled good or bad, is ultimately part of a larger plan that's unfolding for your highest good. And here's the beauty: when you detach from judging the outcome, you also detach from the need for it to happen in a specific way. You stop resisting the flow of life, allowing other opportunities, ones that truly align with you, to come in. When we judge, we're attached to an idea of how things should be. This attachment actually blocks manifestation because we're signaling to the universe that we don't fully trust the process. Non-duality, on the other hand, removes the need to label and control every experience, creating space for natural alignment. Think of the saying, "What you resist persists." By viewing every experience as part of the source, we stop resisting, and the things we desire begin to show up in surprising, sometimes even miraculous ways. So, how can you practice non-duality and reduce judgment in your daily life? Here are a few practical steps. 1. Observe without labeling. Start small. The next time you catch yourself labeling something as good or bad, pause. See if you can observe it without assigning a judgment. Say to yourself, "This just is." Over time, this practice becomes a habit, and you'll find yourself naturally less reactive. Reflect on the bigger picture. Ask yourself, how does this experience fit into my life as a whole? When we zoom out, we often see that what seemed like a setback was actually a setup for something better. 3. Meditate on oneness. In meditation, imagine yourself as part of everything and everyone around you. Feel the connection, not just intellectually but emotionally. Over time, this practice will create a deep internal sense of non-duality, helping you view situations from a place of wholeness. 4. Question your perceptions. When you feel strong emotions about a situation, ask yourself, what am I labeling here? Why do I feel it needs to be a certain way? This questioning reveals how often our emotions stem from judgments rather than the reality of the situation. Let's take an example that most of us can relate to. Relationships. Imagine being deeply connected with someone, and then over time, things change, and the relationship ends. In a dualistic mindset, it's easy to label the experience as a loss, a failure, or even a painful mistake. But what if, instead of seeing it as a bad experience, you saw it as just an experience? Maybe this person came into your life to teach you about love, growth, and even letting go. By not labeling it as bad, you open yourself to see the relationship's true value, allowing gratitude to replace resentment. In this state, you're detached, free, and able to manifest healthier, more aligned relationships because you're not clinging to past judgments or expectations. Non-duality shows us that the world is a mirror of our inner state. When we drop labels and see things as experiences rather than judgments, we start living in alignment with our truest selves. The people, opportunities, and circumstances around us start to reflect this non-dual perspective, bringing us closer to what we genuinely desire. If this concept of non-duality resonates with you and you'd like to explore more ways to apply it in everyday life, check out our next video on the power of letting go and how it brings everything to you. Detachment, after all, is just one step away from non-judgment. And as you deepen your journey, you may find that the freedom from labels is truly the freedom to create a life that aligns with your highest self.